Hi, I'm Bella. I'm a senior lady, and this is my testimony. I started Revolution as a freshman, but I didn't start really being engaged in the community until junior year. I got introduced through VBS, and the community was really quick and warm to welcome me in. So that was a super easy transition for me, and something that I really remember was how nice and everyone was, and how different they were from my school friends. Just being loved right away by all these people that I didn't know was kind of something that really stuck with me, and that was probably one of my favorite memories, just always being reached out to and saved a seat in church. Ultimately, the community and all of my friends that I made inspired me to come back, and just hearing the gospel made me more curious as to why everyone was so interested. I grew up believing in God and coming to church regularly. I went through RPK and wildlife, but I didn't really believe that God was as big as he was, or really could control my whole life lovingly. And I think coming off of COVID, and there was just a huge culture shift that I was used to, and just hearing all these new ideas and everyone professing like their own idols and gods that they believed in, and then going straight into school and that was being taught and affirming what was online. Especially when I was starting to get back into the Word and back into a relationship with God, I was at a really hard point of what the church is saying and then what school and everyone else and their mother is saying. And that was a really hard point for me in really figuring out who I am and what I am to be. But then when I came back and started being more consistent in the Word and being more circulated in the gospel, hearing that at church, I started to take another step in building a one-on-one relationship with God. And I started to do my own studies for hours a day because I was just so curious why everyone around me was so devoted to loving him. And I wanted to know who God's character actually was, not what the media told me or what these Christians on TikTok were saying. I had a really strong fellowship around me that I could talk to about this and be affirmed in the fact that trials do happen, and prayer is so powerful, and spiritual attack is real. And I think that was a big thing to learn, that the enemy finds his ways to pick at you where it hurts, and understanding that and being able to pray very intentionally towards that. Seeing God's work in my day-to-day life proved what the Word was saying, and that necessarily proved not only his existence but his character, and that allowed me to fully be confident in devoting my life to him and being his disciple. God and the Word never changes, and everything else does. There is not one thing in the world that changes or becomes less than or will fail you. And God is consistent, and his truths prove themselves throughout the Bible and in our day-to-day lives. And so that's really comforting when you feel super lost. There's always home in Jesus.